Hello and welcome once again to the Hornby Magazine Test Track Layout Topley-Dale. Today you join myself and Mike here with Hornby's brand new A1 and A3 locomotives. So Mike, two new locomotives on the layout. What have we got?
So we've got new versions of Hornby's long-standing A1 and A3 462. So the A1 was as they were originally built in the 1920s, and then they were later modified with longer travel valves and a few other modifications to the boiler later on in their lives as well. And these are, well, they're not entirely new, but they are partially new. So Hornby's gone back to look at these to make some modifications to the tooling to give them a longer lease of life in the catalogue. So the first thing you'll notice is actually the whole the running plate is all completely new. And it's now die-cast rather than plastic as well, so it's a much stronger piece of the locomotive as well. And actually, visually for me, it does make a big difference to how the locomotive looks. It looks stronger, like a real metal frame would be for a locomotive. So that's a big difference, and both structurally and visually. The second big change is it's now got firebox flicker in it as well. So that's built into the firebox on each locomotive. Now that is operated permanently, so it's permanently connected to the track feeds, so it's not switchable with DCC or anything like that. But if you wanted to, you could change that. And then the third thing to mention actually is there's a new design of wheels of these as well. So they've changed the rim style on the wheels of these locomotives as well.
It's an odd one to do, really, because there always seems to be a new, particularly the Flying Scotsman, there always seems to be a new one in the catalogue. So it's amazing that they can still improve it more.
Oh yeah, there's always another version of Flying Scotsman, isn't there? So and this one's quite an interesting one because this one's in its early BR period where it had the single chimney, it had no smoke deflectors. So it's a model which I think they've probably done in the past in one form or another, probably on a different tooling generation. But it's certainly not something we've seen in recent times on the A3.
And will this be the locomotive that will eventually carry the live steam?
Yes, that's right, yeah. So that is one of the steam generator locomotives is going to be one of these A3 models, and that will be coming soon to the Hornby range as well.
And what are your thoughts on changing the running plate to a cast metal chassis?
I think it's a really good move, actually. I mean, there's three things that are a good move about it. One, I think actually it genuinely looks better. Two, it's got much greater strength as well. I mean, one of the things I think with the previous running plate for these locos, it tends to have a little bit of flex in them. They were fine, they worked okay, but there's sometimes a little bit of flex in them. And thirdly, it's going to give you more adhesive weight as well. So these are nice, strong locos. You know, we've got an 8-coach Raker Pullman has trained out on it today. They're quite sizable, heavy coaches, the Pullmans, and these locos, they romp around the layout, them on the back with no trouble at all. So plenty of
we've not struggled when under test today,
no,
have we?
Definitely not, no.
So currently we're going through a bit of a period of change with Hornby from 8-pin to 21-pin sockets on their new locos. What do these have?
So these new Pacifics, they've got the 8-pin decoder sockets still in the tender, and they've also got space for a 28mm round speaker, which is cast into the metal weight that goes in the bottom of the tender chassis. There is space in there if you want to do something differently. I mean, actually, the method I've shown in our sound installation guide for the Hornby W1s, you could use a similar kind of route, certainly for the non-corridor tender that's behind Flying Scotsman. That would follow a similar route to what I did with the rebuilt W1. A little bit more care would be needed for the coal rail tender because there's a little bit less height in those in order to get things inside there. But so you could get a different speaker inside as well.
I was going to say, if you can fit a sound decoder and speaker into a Ruston, you could fit one into one of these tenders.
Definitely, yeah. It's about choosing the right components.
So I presume it'll change again when the smoke-fitted version comes out to a 21-pin.
That is my understanding, yes. I understand when the smoke generator locos come out, they will have a 21-pin decoder socket. So we're looking forward to seeing more on those in the near future.
Right, so for those at home, where can they read the full review, warts and all?
So the full review of these new A3 and A1 locomotives from Hornby is available to read in issue 179 of Hornby Magazine. That's our May 2022 issue, which is available from shops, or alternatively, if you missed it in the shops, you can buy it from shop.keypublishing.com online. Alternatively, if you prefer to read online, you can go to keymodelworld.com to read this review.
Where, of course, the W1 sound fitting piece will also be hosted.
Absolutely.
So for those who want to sound fit these.
Yes,
perfect.
Indeed.
Right, as ever, thank you very much for joining us for this video. Take care and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.